Hello and welcome to episode 67 of Pentagon for Gold, where today we are playing against Boca Juniors in the Copa Libertadores. Now recently we've had okay form, but we've had a very difficult time because a lot of players have been away on international duty. So if we have a quick look at some of the results we've had since the Club World Cup final, we've still done okay. We've had 2 wins, one against Corinthians, one against Avai. We then drew 2-2 against Goiás with a really late equaliser from them, which was very frustrating. And then we lost 2-1 to Fluminense, which was really disappointing because Fluminense were 20th in the league. As a result, we are level on points with Internacional, with 2 games in hand at least, but it's not perfect. We'd rather be a little bit further ahead of them at this point, but it's always going to be difficult when you've got this many players away. Now, the issue we've got really is this is what we've got here. So a couple of players are obviously out on loan. Giancarlo can't play in either the league or the cup or the Copa Libertadores. He can only play in, there's one particular cup he can play in, but it's clearly not the Libertadores. I think he can play in the Brazilian domestic cup, but this is the Libertadores, and he's played in that competition already. As a result, he can't play for us basically ever until next season. Victor Hugo Nunez and Edson Rosas, as well as Eduardo Franco, are all on international duty at the Gold Cup with Mexico, with a return date of 1st of August. They've been away for about a month, which is a bit annoying. Diego Carlos has got a 2-week injury. Vinicius still has 7 weeks or so. It was wanted by Toronto. And yeah, it's just been very difficult. We've had suspensions to the likes of Belly. We have signed Robert, but he is also he's unable to play in the league because he's played more than 7 games for another team, which I didn't realise was a rule when I signed some of these players. So it's a bit difficult. I did actually have Jardin transfer listed, but I've now got to remove him from the transfer list because we can't replace him with anyone. Because if they're in the Brazilian league, they'd have to be better than him, but also not having played 7 games, and that's just not going to happen. And if they're from abroad, we don't have that many options. So what we've done is we've got quite a lot of loanees coming in, and we've also got one permanent signing, who is Wanderlei. Now, if we take a quick look at the players we've signed, so Wanderlei is the main guy that we've actually bought. We know what he's about. He is not outstanding, but he's a Brazilian from Santos Laguna, so he wouldn't be cup tied for anything, and he wouldn't count as a foreign player, so that's good for us. We've then got a few players on loan, so Breitner is coming from Arsenal. He is a really good-looking centre-back who's transfer listed, and basically the reason these guys are coming is because they're Brazilian. They're actually willing to, and because they're transfer listed, we can get them on loan. So he is one of the players we've gone for. Pedro Ayub, 4-star, and looks really good. I don't know why he's not got a current ability or potential ability there right now, because we have fully scouted him. It must have just been too long ago. He looks really good, and I'm quite excited to have him coming in. He's a really good central midfielder. Then we've got a right winger coming in, 3-star, not necessarily outstanding, but good dribbling, very good pace. And that is Rodrigo Pontillo coming from Leeds on loan. Now, these guys are coming in just to fill out that squad. We haven't got all that much money left. We've got this in our wage budget. There is someone I wanted to buy. I can't quite think of now, but I'm sure I'll find him again. And that will depend on whether we have enough money once these loanees have arrived at the club. Now, as is often the case, you can see we don't have many subs available. It's a bit of a pain, but that's just the way that the Brazilian rules are. So you don't want to be selling too many players mid-season because you can't ever replace them, which is pretty frustrating, but it's not something I'd realised before this. So, I don't remember having this issue last year on my FM save with Sao Paulo as it happens, but clearly it is a problem. And let's hope, though, we can get a good result here against Boca Juniors, get out of sight, and hopefully we'll then be in a position to head through in the Copa Libertadores and, start to actually turn the screw and get towards that final. Poor pass there from Douglas has given it away to Rivas. and somehow no one challenged him. We got very lucky that he just hit the post there, but not quite sure how that happened. And we need to be a bit more controlled in the midfield. We can't be giving the ball away like that. Jardin's a bit tired, but we don't have any other options on the left wing because Rosas is still away on international duty. Jardin, the only Mexican in our team that's actually been around for the entirety of the Gold Cup because he wasn't called up. Rodisvaldo João has really stepped up in this period, particularly during the Club World Cup. He was fantastic, but he's just been really decent, since in the league. He's a promising young player. I think he's got some real potential there. It's nice to actually be bringing in one of these youth players and building them into the team. Douglas into Romulo. Lots of space here on the right hand side. Can he get a good cross in? Finds Douglas instead. Rodisvaldo João. And there we go. Romulo assisting Thiago Emiliano for his 12th goal of the season. That's quite impressive from midfield. And that is 1-0 to Sao Paulo. And we've got that away goal that we needed. I don't know which other games are going on at the moment. Flamengo beating Talleres despite being really poor in the league this season. Atletico Nacional beating Belgrano. Independiente beating Atletico Mineiro. Yeah. Basically, the Brazilian teams are doing well, and everyone else is kind of muddling through. Tony gives it away to Douglas. That's a good inception. And finds Minho here. His cross is blocked by Olmos, and Altair's done a really poor clearance straight to Rivas. Thankfully, Gavassi should have been more comfortable there, but did actually pass it directly to his opponent. But thankfully, Gustavo Mateus was there, and Minho, it's a nice try. Cheeky attempt that. It was unlikely to score from that far out, but you miss all the shots you don't take. Altair taken down by Palomba. That should be a pretty comfortable penalty. No real doubts about that one, and it is a penalty. Come on then. Give us your best, Rodisvaldo. And he scores 2-0. 12th goal of the season for him as well. For a player that wasn't really in the pipeline at the start of this season, he's doing some good stuff. Jardin will definitely need to come off at some point. I suspect it'll be a case of bringing Minho onto the left and getting Sidney on up front for Jardin. But Ramos is also tired, so that's another winger that's got problems. We'll work out what we're going to do. A few tired legs in that midfield and on the wings. I think I'm about to make some subs. I've played our backup goalkeeper on the wing quite a few times recently just because of the lack of options we got. He's done okay. He hasn't scored, hasn't assisted, but hasn't seemed to be a major problem. And then, how has Gustavo Mateus let that through him? That's disappointing. Echeverria brings Boca Juniors back into the tie. That was really poor from Gustavo Mateus. And let's get Jardin off. Minho, Sidney can come on. Joaquin Ramos. I guess you're going to have to stay on now that we've conceded that goal. We can get Adavilson on for Thiago Emiliano. And hopefully the drop in quality won't cost us. Throw in 4 Boca Juniors on the right hand side. Rivas into Quejas and Tony. Got a bit of space on the edge of the box. Alderete finds Rivas with a good ball. And now Rivas cuts inside, finds Echeverria and gets a shot away and he's equalised. Oh, come on, guys. We were in a really comfortable position, yet here we are. 2-2 with 10 minutes to go. Disappointing. We'll get Belly on there and get Robert on a ball-playing defender role. Let's demand more, because we can't be giving away 2-goal leads like that. Late drama? Doesn't look like it. So it's disappointing not to come away from that with a win. We'll say we're unlucky just to keep the morale up, but it's a bit frustrating to drop, well, not drop points, but to drop a 2-0 lead there. And how did everyone else do? Yeah, seems there are a few draws. Talares did equalise against Flamengo. Santos equalised very late against Danubio. And yeah, it's frustrating to drop that result, but yeah, we'll try and get a win in the next leg. Even a 0-0 draw will do, or a 1-0 draw, because we've at least got 2 away goals. Amazingly, for this second leg, we're almost at full strength. We did actually have a 1-1 draw against Cruzeiro in between the 2 games, but now we've got our Mexicans back because they lost to USA in the semi-final of the Gold Cup. So we've now got Nunez, Rosas and Franco all back, and that really does bulk up the squad a bit more. Hopefully that's not something we have to worry about next season, because we'll be gone anyway, but if we are around, I would be a bit disappointed if the Gold Cup happens particularly often. But yeah, let's kick off this game against Boca Juniors. 2-2 from the first leg, and there's an instant highlight of some description. Hopefully our Mexicans can get us straight back into the swing of things. Obviously they've been away for a fair while now, and they might need time to adapt again. Oh, well, they've already hit the bar, Boca Juniors. Not quite sure why we've gone for a pass back there, but Belly dealt with it in the end. And yeah, it wasn't the greatest start for us. We need to be a bit more switched on. But Franco beats his man nicely, cuts inside, and probably should have gone far post rather than near post there. But that was good play from Franco. Definitely looking like he isn't any worse for wear after that tournament. Robert into Douglas. Nunez into Belly. Rosas now on the left hand side, looking to beat the right winger of Boca Juniors. Has options to cut it back, but instead goes for a cross into the box, and Sidney's there to head home from Rosas's cross. It's like they were never away. I think this is the point of the season when we start to kick on again. Just having those 3 extra bodies in the squad means we don't have a real weak team that we have to put out for some games. And actually, with all the loanees we've got coming in, we're going to have a pretty decently sized squad. Not necessarily for the Copa Libertadores, because I don't think we can sign anyone more and put them into that registration. But here we go with 2-0 now. I think it was a return of the favour from Rosas. Or actually, it was Sidney that assisted Rosas before. And oh no, it was Rosas that assisted Sidney. And this time it's oh my goodness. This time it's Rosas assisting Franco. I'm just used to Rosas scoring, so seeing him not scoring and instead assisting is not particularly surprising, because he also assists a lot, but I'm just losing my mind here. Rosas finds Mino. Looks for Franco, and he's there. Great cross from Mino, good header from Franco, and we're tearing Boca Juniors to shreds. This is Argentina's, well, they're meant to be Argentina's best, but they are currently 5th in the division, I think. They're predicted to be first, but clearly not going very well for them. Nunez is pretty tired already. Looks like Flamengo will be heading through, as will Santos. Quilmes beating Millionaire, so perhaps that's a bit of a surprise. We'll go with the same team talk, since none of the others are likely to avoid complacency. Belly into Altair. Rosas loses the ball to Rivas and then wins it back before smacking it directly towards the goalkeeper for an easy claim. Quinteros into Forres, who is actually probably their star player, someone I've looked at various points of this save as a potential signing, but given the number of foreign players we've already got, not sure it's really worth it. Thiago Miliano Good play from him, and he might have got a penalty here. I think it's probably not a penalty from that tackle by Tony, but we'll see what the referee has to say. And he's given it. A little bit surprised by that, but we'll take it. And Franco clearly didn't fancy the hat-trick. That is an awful penalty. And let's get Victor Hugo Nunez off. And on comes... Let's get Adavilson on. Unless we put Franco back into midfield, that's what we'll do. No, not Franco. Rosas can go there. And he will go as a Mazzala. And then we can put Daniel Jardin on. A little bit of a rejig for the team, but Rosas is capable of playing in that Mazzala role. Thiago Emiliano is predominantly a box-to-box midfielder for us. And that header from Rosas almost sneaks in, but Quinteros is able to claim it at his near post. Now, is he going to look long? He is. Well won by the Boca Juniors striker, and Farias now cuts inside and gets a really good shot off. It's a great save from Gustavo Mateus. Really strong hand to that. Might even have been his arm rather than his hand, because it looked like he did well with his body to block that one. Unusual corner kick technique, which hasn't worked out for Boca Juniors. Now we can counter, and Jardin not able to do anything with it, presumably. Sidney finds Rosas on the edge of the box. It's given away, and now Echeverria can counter for Boca Juniors. Finds Rivas well. Good hold-up play from him, and that's a poor tackle from... Might have been Robert, might have been Altair, but I think that's a penalty. What's the referee going to do? It looked like more of a penalty than the one we got, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's surprising at all. Looks like there were two players who fouled him, to be honest. And Rivas now, can he score from this penalty? Referee sidling into the penalty area, taking his time about it, but Rivas puts it home. 3-1 to us now. There's still a small chance, but I think if we drop points from here, I will be... If we lose the game from here, I'll be very, very disappointed. I think we'll get Diego Carlos on. He's not entirely fit, but I think it would be useful to keep as strong a squad on as we can. And now we've got a couple more players who are tired. Let's get Sidney off for Joaquin Ramos. Sidney running down the right hand side before getting subbed off, and it's now a corner. And that will be his last action. Started walking over to the corner flag to take the corner, but wasn't his time, I'm afraid. Diego Carlos sends it in. Robert chasing back, and Diego Carlos gets another chance. Counter now on for Boca Juniors, and Silva here. Galeano into Ferreira, and now Tony. Galeano loses the ball, and Altair creates a chance on the counter, and Franco gets his hat-trick from another assist from Minho. And that is that. I was a bit worried at the start of that chance that maybe they'd get it to 3-2, but instead it's 4-1, and I'd say it's fully deserved that we're winning this game. We've been the better team throughout the tie. A couple of poor defensive mistakes, but we are through to what I believe will be the quarter-final. I'll have to have a quick look, but I think we should be in the quarter-final. Anything in our inbox? Yeah, we've won that 6-3 on aggregates. Awarded that 815k. Was it 835? 815. Santos in the next round. Where is Santos in the league at the moment? 8th. I think we've beaten them already this season, so it is the quarter-final. I would say if we win this game, probably Flamengo and Atletico Mineiro are the biggest danger to us. I don't think any Argentinian clubs or anything like that can really cause us too much of a problem. Phenomenal performance from Franco, great return to the team, and that is that. So if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a fantastic day.